Greetings, family. This is your brother Kofi. I'm so glad that you clicked on this channel, this particular platform. Again, my name is Brother Kofi, and certainly we give divine homage, respect to the ancestors and to the divine creators. This is a platform that's African-centered. Yes, African-centered. We will be discussing a number of topics from spirituality to our history, our story, to health and wellness of the entire being. Hopefully, we're going to bring on some persons, some nurses, and some other brothers and sisters that are knowledgeable of some various subjects that we want to discuss, so to better the community. As you know, you may not know, but if you don't, you do now. We've been at war for a long time here in the diaspora and around the world as melanated people, just trying to express our beingness. We've been oppressed, suppressed, repressed, and as the Baba has said, Baba Wade Nobles, that we've been intellectually incarcerated. So we want to come up out of that. And there's brothers like myself, sisters out there that are doing their best to drop some nuggets, to enlighten, to open up the consciousness of our people. We've been asleep way too long. And someone has said to me earlier, shot me a message and said, look, this is the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing. And the gods are waking up. And I truly believe that. But I'm not going to be before you long. Just want to introduce this book to you. And I believe that everyone should have this. If you're African-centered, if you're serious about your consciousness, you ought to have this in your library. Several books you ought to just have in your library, but this certainly is one by Baba Kobi Kambon, who is now an ancestor. We salute him for his awesome work. It took a number of years as a psychologist for him to write this, but he did. He left it for us, and we honor him for that. Awesome work. I'll just read a few paragraphs from the book. Again, it's African Personality in America, an African-centered framework. Okay, and this is just a preference. It says, over the last 2,500 years, Eurasians, which includes Persians, Greeks, Romans, and their descendant tribes, have literally tried to control all aspects of knowledge in the world. Achieving their objective around 500 to 700 years ago, this Eurasian intellectual hegemony has since dominated the world podium, where knowledge of so-called human experience and race psychology have been concerned. They have contradicted themselves at every turn with their misrepresentations of fact and have left a trail of blatant falsifications and obscurities behind them. Let me say this as I go through this book, this great work. There will be times where I'll stop and I'll give my commentary on this awesome work. I'm going to attempt to anyway. And hopefully my interpretation of my commentary or opinion, if you will, I know it's going to be on point because it's coming right from the ancestor and it's motivated by our righteous ancestors, just to add a little flavor and to break it down just a little more. Okay, so please be patient as we go through this. And again, for today, it's just an introduction of the great work of Dr. Kobi Kambon. and just a little bit of the preference. He says, although our knowledge of human experience began with African thinkers millennia ago among the Kamites and their forebears, whatever Africans have had to contribute to this one-sided, more recent discourse since the Greeks either has been distorted, let's see here, redefined and co-opted by the Eurasians, or it has been treated as unimportant or simply ignored. However, this is the part I like. However, now this is just a preference, y'all. However, as Africans throughout the world are once again, that's important, once again, what is he telling us? That we were there at the beginning. Okay? We're once again beginning to move. This is like this platform like here. We're beginning to move intellectually after what seems like an unusually prolonged period of silence or muted cultural oppression, suppression, repression, and intellectual incarceration. The pendulum appears to be what? Swinging back to African thought and African-centered knowledge. African thinkers then have begun the movement to retake the podium and reestablish the preeminence of African-centered knowledge. Powerful. We're taking back the podium. And re-establish the preeminence of African-centered knowledge and understanding of the world. We Africans have waited far longer than we should have to once again take the leadership in advancing human knowledge, especially about ourselves. So this is what we'll be talking about. Taking back the podium regarding the human experience and advancing knowledge of human experience. Okay? And it's not about us being arrogant because we were the first here on the planet, manifested from the universe, again, whom we give honor to the divine creator. But we, through the beautiful spirit of unity and what we call love and the energy, the positive energy that unites us all, our ancestors were at the podium giving out knowledge for this human experience of how to live, how to survive, how to commune with the earth, how to draw energy from the sun, how to navigate, throughout this existence, acknowledging and embracing the all. And that information, that knowledge was interrupted through Eurasians. Yeah, through a lower nature being. We're going to deal with that in this work. And throughout my platform, I'm going to expose it. We're going to talk about it. Because it has been. But again, like Baba has said, Baba Combone has said, the pendulum is beginning to swing back to African thinkers, okay, African-centered thinkers, and we're beginning to take that podium back. I hate to sound mundane about it, but I have to begin to take that podium back so that we can spread knowledge regarding the human experience, because we've been suffering. We've been suffering over the last 500 to 700 years, 2,500 years, excuse me. Ask yourself the question, under their psychology, under their worldview, and this incarceration of consciousness that we find ourselves in, how has the world been doing? Pollution, dis-ease everywhere, in the atmosphere and inside this earth. So we gotta tap into the knowledge that the ancestors have given us, so that we can begin to spread the proper knowledge regarding the human experience and our relationship to Mother Earth, our relationship to the sun, how to draw energy, how to live with the sun, how to even use the moon as an asset to us. And many, don't get me wrong, many have already been doing that here and there, in pockets throughout the world. But there's a mass awakening happening, as it was before the lower nature beings began to incarcerate us and our ancestors. Consciously. So we're going to deal with this. And I hope that you come with anticipation and expectation. I know this isn't for everyone, but if you come with anticipation and an expectation to draw knowledge, to gain knowledge and wisdom and insight, you will do just that. As above, so below. As without, so within. Which simply means we're the same as the universe. We're connected. All that the universe has for us, all we need to do is tap into it and allow it to happen, and to make that beingness happen, and you'll gain insight. A BBI Fodie, which is an African word for liberation. A BBI Fodie for your mind, for your spirit. Imhotep, divine peace.